So today we're doing 1.4 notes, reflections. We're going to basically have two types of reflections. They're right here in the box that I'm boxing right now. We're going to have reflections over the x-axis and the y-axis. So this is going to be very important for us to remember this. So minus f of x, we reflect over the x, f of negative x over the y. Okay, so we're going to practice graphing some functions we've already kind of seen, and then we're going to reflect them somehow. Okay, so the first one is the linear function, right? It's x to the first power, so it is linear. This is actually in point slope form, which we have talked about before. So it's been shifted from the origin, so x plus 1 means it's moved to the left 1 and down 2. So left 1 and down 2. And then the slope is 3, so up 3, 1, 2, 3 over 1. Up 3, 1, 2, 3 over 1. Right, down 3 over 1, and then there's your graph. So that's f of x. As you're taking these notes, I would encourage you to use multiple colors or maybe a pen and pencil, because you're going to be doing multiple graphs. Now, minus f of x, that means the y values are changing. So this is going to be a reflection over the x-axis, minus f of x. Okay, so how do we reflect? Well, the x-axis is this line right here, this green dashed line here. So to reflect, let's say we take this point here. If it's 1 above, now it's going to be 1 below. This one's 2 below, so now it's going to be 2 above. Right? This one is 1, 2, 3, 4 above, so now 1, 2, 3, 4 below. Right? And then again, you can keep going. Right? So now there's my reflection, minus f of x. So that's the reflection. So again, reflecting, if you're above the line, now you're below it. If you're below it, now you're above it. It's all the same equal distance above and below when you reflect over the line. Alright, so now we have the quadratic. So again, g of x. So negative 2x squared minus 3. So this has been shifted from the origin down 3 because of the minus 3. So 1, 2, 3. And it's a negative 2. So remember our pattern, 1a, 3a, and so forth. So a is negative 2. So I'm going to go over 1 and down 2, over 1 and down 2. So there we go. There's g of x. Minus g of x is going to be a reflection over the x-axis. So again, using a different color to make sure it's easy to distinguish. Right, here's the x-axis right here. So this is 3 below. Now it's going to be 3 above. 5 below, 5 above. 5 below, 5 above. And there's your reflection. Again, this is 3 above because this is 3 below. It's just reflecting. Right? If you could fold the paper in half, the green graph would overlap the purple graph. All right, absolute value. Again, negative hx of plus 3, so it's a V shape that opens down, but it's been shifted to the left 3. 1, 2, 3. Because remember, it's what makes that equal to 0 is negative 3, so that's the left 3. And then the slope is negative 1, so down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. But remember, it's V-shaped, so we can use our symmetry. There we go. So that's h of x. I'm not going to put there. Alright, so that's h of x. Now, we're going to do the reflection. Alright, reflect over the x-axis again. It's minus h of x. So you can't reflect the point if it's on the x-axis, so that stays the same. But this one's 1 below, now it's 1 above. 1 below, 1 above. And then you can use the fact that it's the exact same shape, it's just been flipped. So it's going to have the same slope, because it's the same exact graph, it's just a reflection. It doesn't change shape. It just changes the way it's facing. Right, the last here is the exponential. This is the more challenging one. So we're going to sketch the first part here. Right, 2 to the x minus 3 plus 1. So it's been shifted to the right 3, and up 1. Okay. So what I'm going to do, it's going to be a little extra work, but I think it's the easier way, is here is the parent function, 2 to the x. Remember, we've done this before a couple times already, right? We're going to make a quick little table for 2 to the x, the parent function. So you get 1/2, you get 1, you get 2. So I'm going to lightly plot those points. So -1 here, here, and here, right? So that is the parent function, right? 2 to the x. We've graphed this before earlier in the unit. So in order to graph this j of x, this function I want here, in order to graph this, all I'm going to do is take these 3 points here that are blue and I'm going to move them. I'm going to translate them. So right 3, 1, 2, 3, and up 1. Right 3, 1, 2, 3, and up 1. And there we go. So now, right, I'm going to erase this one here. I have my sketch of j of x. All I did was take the parent function, 2 to the x, and I translated it right 3 and up 1. That's all I did. Now I'm going to reflect, right, over the x-axis. So again, just going to take the 3 points I have, those 3 there. So now that's 1.5 up, so 1.5 down, 2 up, 2 down, right, 3 up, 3 down. And there's your reflection, negative j of x. So when you're graphing exponential, remember, it's probably easier just to graph the parent function and then shift it. And as you do this more, you're going to start to basically memorize that little table. You don't have to do it. Most of you can probably now just plot those 3 points and translate them. Okay, next one. Okay, so now we are in the linear again because it's x to the first power. But it's been shifted to the right 5 from the origin. Remember, opposites inside the parentheses. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the slope is 1/2. So down 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. Right? So there's your graph. So that's f of x. And then now, f of negative x means we're going to reflect over the y-axis. Because minus x means the x values are changing. So if it's negative, then it's positive. It's positive, then it's negative. That means you would reflect over the y. So here's your reflection line. We're reflecting over that purple line there. Okay. So if this point is here, now it's going to be here. That point is here, now it's going to be here. Right? 5 to the right, now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the left. Right? And we got this point. So there's our graph. There's f of negative x. Right? The quadratic, again, g of x, this has been shifted to the left 2, right, from the vertex. So now there's your vertex. And again, remember 1a, 3a, 5a. A is 1, so 1, 3, and 5. Over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1, up 3, over 1, up 3. And there's your graph. So that's g of x. Now we have g of negative x, so that's going to be a reflection over the y-axis. So again, here's your y-axis. So this point's got to stay there, but this one's 1 to the left, now 1 to the right. 2 to the left, 2 to the right. 3 to the left, now 3 to the right. Right? And there we go. So there's our reflection. Again, using multiple colors on this part makes it a lot easier. Or a pen versus a pencil. Okay, now we have the absolute value. So this has been shifted to the right 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So now there's your new vertex. Positive 2/3, so up 2, 3 to the right, up 2, 1, 2, 3 to the left. So there we go. So that's h of x. And then we're going to do the reflection. So this is going to be reflection over the y. So this one here is now going to be here. This one's 4 to the right. Now 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left. 7. So there we go. There's your reflection. Alright, and the last one, the exponential one. So again, since this is 3 to the x, I'm going to quickly make the table for 3 to the x. Right, -1, 0, and 1. Again, if you start doing this enough, most you're going to start to memorize this. So 1/3, 1, and 3. So I'm going to sketch those real quick. There we go. They're right there in blue. So all I have to do is take those 3 dots now and translate them. Well, translate them where? Down 4, because it's -4. So I'm going to do that in a different color. So down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's your graph. There's j of x. Right? Now I finally have it done. You can erase the blue dots if you want to. Right? So it doesn't confuse you. There you go. So now we can do the reflection. So this is going to be a reflection over the y-axis. So this point's got to stay. This one now is 1 to the right, so then it's 1 to the left. This is 1 to the right, so now it's 1 to the left. So there's your graph. There's j of -x. Again, all comes back to understanding these 2 symbols here, right? This is a reflection over the x, over the y. Understanding that will help greatly. Okay, so on the back side, we're going to work with more transformations like translations and rotation and reflections. So we have our little formula here. What I'm going to do is highlight these key points here because they're going to be helpful. So first off, we want the domain. Remember, that's the x values. Well, it starts at -5. It doesn't have any breaks, and it ends at 3. And why are these square brackets? Because these are solid points. I'm including the endpoints. The range, the lowest it starts is -4, and it goes up to 0. And again, solid points here, so there's closed brackets. So all we're going to do is take this graph here, and we're going to translate it or reflect it in these 4 graphs. We're going to transform it 4 times. So it's going to be the exact same shape and size. It's just going to be either slid left, right, up, or down, or it's going to be flipped over. So that's what we're doing. So this here tells me to move it to the right 3 and up 4. So I'm going to move those green dots right 3 and up 4. These dots that I'm coloring blue now are the ones I'm going to move. So moving that first one, right, we're going to move it from -5, -3. We're going to move right 3, 1, 2, 3, and up 4. So now it's there. Now I'm going to move this point right 3 and up 4. Right, so it goes from -2, go right 3 and up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to move this dot here right 3, 1, 2, 3, and up 4. Then I'm going to move this dot right 3, right, 2, 3, and up 4. Then I'm going to move this dot right 3 and up 4. So then I'm going to connect, curve, here, here. There we go. So now your domain starts at -2 and goes to +6. Your range starts from 0 and goes up to a height of 4. And again, these are all square brackets, closed brackets, because I have, right, solid points here. They're included. You can physically touch them. Okay, next one, again, I'm going back to this graph here, and now minus f of x. That means minus y, so the y values are changing. So this is going to be a reflection over the x. Okay, so again, I'm going to reflect these 5 black points. So the one that's at negative 2, 0 stays there. This point is 3 below. So now it's going to be 3 above. This is 2 below, so now it's 2 above. This one here is 4 below, so now it's 4 above. And then this one is 3 below, so now it's 3 above. So then we go here, 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 here. So your domain is negative 5 all the way to 3. Your range is from 0 to 4. Again, remember, domain and range is left to right. Range is from the bottom to the top. It's always the smallest value to the largest value. Right, the last two, again, coming back to the original graph up here that I have in black. Right, so now we're going to move these points. Right, we're going to move these 5 points. In this case, we're going to go to the left 2 and down 1. Okay, so this point here, negative 5, 3, you're going to go left 2 and down 1. And then the next point here, negative 2, 0, we're going to go left 2, down 1. Next point up there at 0, negative 2, left 2, down 1. And then that point, left 2 and down 1. And then the very last point, which is at 3, negative 3, is the left 2 and down 1. So we're here, 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 here. So your domain starts at negative 8, goes all the way to 1. Your range starts down here at negative 5 and goes to negative 1. Again, smallest number on the left, biggest number on the right. Domains left to right, ranges from bottom to the top. Again, the range is kind of the tricky one because we don't read bottom to top, we read top down. So you gotta be careful with the range. And then the last one is going to be a reflection over, so it's minus x, so the x values are changing, so reflection over the y. Okay, so again, back to this original graph up here. We're going to take these 5 points here, and we're going to reflect them over the y-axis. So the 1.0, negative 2 is going to stay there. This point here is going to be, instead of 2 to the left, it's going to be 2 to the right. The next point down here, instead of being 5 to the left, is going to be 5 to the right. So it's here. This point here, instead of being 2 to the right, is going to be 2 to the left. This point here would be now 3 to the left. So we're here, 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 here. So your domain, negative 3 to 5. Your range, negative 4 to 0. Make sure as you're going through this, again, domain, range, understand domains left to right, ranges from bottom to top. Again, these are all score brackets because they're all solid points. They're all included. There's no open points or breaks. So I don't have a union on any of these. So as you go through, make sure when you're done with your notes, you answer your essential question at the top of the notes. And then